Aloha hoku ohana. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for your reading. I think this is going to be an exciting and fun one because the message that kept coming through right before this read is I kept hearing a whole new world by Aladdin and Jasmine, right? So it's almost like we're taking this magic carpet ride into a new nation, and it's because of your imagination. You've been able to imagine a new nation for yourself, right? You've been able to imagine, I'm hearing a lot of you, this is the new earth frequency, and the lyrics, right, says, I can show you the world shining, shimmering, and splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide, right? I can open your eyes. So it's almost like you're opening up your vision, right? This prophecy that you're receiving in regards to your destiny before it unfolds. And with allowing your heart to decide, your heart, which is the feminine aspect, right, the princess, is gently guiding you towards your chosen destination. And this requires you to definitely be vulnerable in the physical, because that vulnerability is going to be the only bridge to connecting with these new timelines, right, with this new earth, and connecting with a new side of yourself where your full potential is going to lie on the other side of actually being vulnerable, which is opening yourself up to the unknown and realizing that your full potential lies on the other side of the unknown. Some of you, it's putting your work out there, right, for other people to be able to intersect with that or something that you're doing. But anyway, you know, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. So that's the vibe that it gives me. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one can tell us no or where to go or say we're only dreaming. There's something around, again, you're dreaming a new world into being. And yeah, a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I wake up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world of you. And the message I was receiving in regards to this was the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So this is actually like the prince is aligning your actions accordingly with the physical, and that creates creation, right? The masculine and feminine creates creation in the third dimensional construct. So it's almost like you have this new relationship in this world as you integrate with your higher self, right? You are now your higher self in physical form. You're not seeing it as a compartmentalized thing that's, you know, external, somewhere out there. It's like literally within you. You are your higher self in physical form, right? You are your higher self that has incarnated into the physical form, and you remembered that, right? So I feel like we're in a whole new world. At least you're going to be entering into that as a result of this integration process. And there's unbelievable sights, right? Indescribable feelings that you're going to be having moving forward, because on that magic carpet ride, I'm hearing you are literally magical within yourself. You're stepping into a magical existence. So we're going to see what you're in alignment with, but there's beautiful, beautiful energy around you. So yeah, a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes, right? Don't close off your vision, especially as you, I'm hearing, lock into like this very specific continuum. Hold your breath, it gets better. I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. So I feel like now that you've come into this new relationship that you've formed within yourself, right, this alchemical marriage, you now have this different kind of mastery over matter when it comes to the third dimensional realm. I'm also hearing your relationship with this world is going to be completely different because of the relationship with the world inside of yourself, where you're no longer functioning under certain belief systems that you're realizing were never really yours to carry or hold. And there's new horizons that you're going to be pursuing as a result of that, right? That's what it talks about. Every moment is a red letter. I wonder what that means. I chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this new world with you. What does that mean? Every moment is a red letter. Let's type in red letter and see what comes up. It's almost like an invitation. The red letter also reminds you of the Chinese like fortune. So this is almost like fortune, right? A red letter refers to something, especially a day that is memorable, significant, or happy, stemming from a historical practice of marking important dates in red ink on calendar. Okay, very interesting. So this is almost going to be a very monumental day for you. The origin of the red letter talks about important dates of some kind, and that was a red letter day for me, the day I got married. Wow. So yeah, this is like the alchemical marriage. It's almost like from this point moving forward, there's no way that you're closing yourself off to new experiences. It's like now that consciousness has become aware of itself, or awareness has become conscious of itself, it begins to behave very, very differently. So I feel like you're about to behave very, very differently in this realm. Again, the winning championship was a red day letter for the team. So this is something that's going to leave a mark in the historical timelines. It also talks about Jesus, right, which is Christ consciousness, or red letter editions of the Bible. It talks about something that's going to be really, really memorable. So it's almost like you're completely waking up to your own divinity. Wow. Oh, you learn something new every day. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and tune into this energy when it comes to the whole new world. A new fantastic point of view. It's almost like, again, you're gaining insight in regards to the full landscape of events that lie ahead of you, and you realize how it is, you're recognizing where it is that you need to apply your free will to open up a new selection of timelines for yourself. But you have some type of foresight in regards to, if I decide this thing, if I have this cause, it's going to have this effect, right? This action will have this reaction. It will open up this new sequence of events, and I feel like this is in alignment with my highest expression. But there is this, I'm hearing like invisible barrier to overcome in terms of that fear of vulnerability, and seeing that vulnerability is putting you in a position of weakness, when actually that puts you in a position of power, because you're aligning yourself with a trajectory that you would not be able to actually be in alignment with otherwise. Right, that's very, very powerful there as well. Right, let's open up the Cosmo Oracle deck. How exciting. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. But yeah, I was just chilling before this read, and then I was singing that song, right? And it kept coming up again and again and again. I was like, let me just do a reading on this. What's coming through? Ultraviolet talks about the things in which are invisible, the things in which others cannot see. Ultraviolet is also a higher bandwidth of frequency light. This lightning looks like bioelectricity. So there could be certain downloads that you're receiving from realms in which others cannot see. So it's leading you to act upon certain things that are allowing you to break into an old reality and also break out of an old way of being. That's what I'm seeing. It's almost like something is penetrating you into, you know, the center of a cellular level. It's like there's some kind of energy that's speaking to you on a cellular level there. That's almost the energy that's coming through, but it's invisible to everyone else in regards to what forces are actually guiding your life. I'm also hearing like what like forces are driving your intentions right now, and the forces are this force of nature, which reminds you of the netter's energy as well. So there is this invisible blueprint, this connected jeweled web in which you're highly attuned to, and it's allowing you to attune your frequency like a radio dial into new dimensions, and also aligning you with very specific windows of opportunity. So I'm seeing like a radio dial, and you're tuning into something that others cannot hear as a result of that, and also things that others cannot see, right? That's what I'm seeing as well, which is super interesting. I'm also seeing, you know, like the memes where they're like, oh, let me turn down the music so I can see clearer. That's what I'm seeing for you guys, where it's like, let me turn out the external noise so that I can see clearer. So there could be something about turning down the external opinions. It also reminds me of headphones in the metaphysical realm, which talks about, again, like kind of drowning out the external noise, where the internal voice becomes louder than the voice externally. And even if this is the voice of your own kind of like self-limiting beliefs that you've inherited of some kind or have been programmed, it's almost like the internal voice, the voice of the soul, becomes louder than the voice of the fear of the ego. The voice of love becomes louder than the voice of fear, and eventually you're kind of coming into that neutral observer, and that voice of fear becomes nothing more than just background noise in a coffee shop. So it's almost like you may kind of think the fear, feel the fear, but realize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings, and eventually you come into that neutral observation and neutralizes the fear, and you kind of observe it and you hold space for it, but you also are not acting from that place, which is super interesting. Wow, how beautiful. Right, let's get one more. Right, we also have optical illusions, optical doubles. Okay, so this is an illusion of separation with optical doubles as well, which is super interesting. We have gravitational acceleration. So the human is about to witness what has already came to be in regards to, I feel like we're being guided towards a very specific event. I'm also hearing ton of events for you. This could completely alter the trajectory of your life. Clear focus with gravitational acceleration talks about you honing in or targeting on a very specific goal. So yeah, optical doubles, that talks about, I believe, something that appears to be close together, but in actuality they're very far apart. So maybe you feel like, oh, like I can still reach this place if I do this thing, but it's like, no, it requires you to be vulnerable. It really requires you to put yourself out there. That's the energy that's giving me, like, oh, I desire to have an impact, but at the same time I don't want to be seen because I have a fear about being seen. Or maybe I'm convincing myself that I don't have a fear about being seen, I just rather not, right? But that's a comfort zone, that's fear. So there is no more room to grow there. eventually that discomfort is going to surpass the comfort that you once had. So that's the energy that it's giving me. It's like you cannot have one or the other. All right, let's take a look at optical doubles. It requires you to do something that you haven't done before, right? Things won't change if things won't change. This talks about there is no darkness or lack of light, just different paths to be traveled. So these are stars that appear to be close together, but in actual fact, they are separated and unrelated to each other. So there are a plethora of timelines and experiences. Some of them are going to be parasitic. This could also be where functioning under certain belief systems are where you can become parasitic to yourself, because you can literally drain yourself the opportunity from being able to enter into other timelines that would allow you to really open up to your highest expression and really step into your full potential. But your full potential lies on the other side of fear. It lies on the other side of the unknown. And the moment that we begin to fear the unknown, we begin to disconnect from our higher self. That's where the voice of fear becomes louder than the internal voice. So there is something about being able to recognize that, hold space for both voices, but realizing that you actually originate from that voice of love. So it's a very, very interesting energy. It's a very interesting energy. And also, yeah, like yesterday, what happened? Well, there's a lot that happened. Maybe I'll do a separate reading on that. But I was seeing a vision in regards to you leaving the grass greener wherever you had stepped, or wherever you had been, and like a flower had emerged somewhere that you had previously been, and you had this new bubble around you, this new like auric field, or this new multi-dimensional kind of like geometric structure. It's like the architecture of your field. And this new architectural structure allowed you to more easily begin to have mastery over matter, because you had mastery over that voice. You had mastery over that fear, right? Realizing that that fear is only operating under an illusion. It's a distorted and inverted truth from what you innately know to be love and abundance, right? There is an illusion of lack or not having more than enough. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting energy. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what's being clarified with this. Then we'll go ahead and clarify the energy. Right. A whole new world requires you to step out of an old world and an old way of being. We have the composer and the page of chalices. So you're telling a new story, right? You're singing to a new song, right? This is a new harmony, a new frequency. And again, this is like the composer and the world is your orchestra. You know, that's the vibe that it gives me. It's like, what do you want to create? And with the page of chalices, the page of chalices basically has a vision that nobody else can see. And he is attuned to a different layer of reality. So he receives a lot of synchronicities in regards to his experience. Maybe this is angel numbers, different kind of ways that you're going to have that interconnectedness with, you know, this magical layer of reality. But there is a vision that you have, and there's a vision that he has, that he must kind of forge a new path in order to be able to discover. And we have 10 of Wands here at the base, so there could be something that you're committing yourself to. Maybe you're committing yourself to this vision, and that vision is going to leave you having a huge impact, because this is, you know, meteoroids kind of landing on the earth and setting a ripple effect. So it's actually you going after this thing that's going to leave a lasting imprint. Okay, it's leaving a lasting imprint because you're mirroring a different example. You're mirroring what your life could be through choosing love over fear, and being able to recognize where there is that voice of fear, but then there also is that voice of love. And there's something about also consider finishing that cycle. I'm hearing whenever you hear that voice of fear, your invitation is to be able to finish the cycle and look at life through the eyes of the soul and begin to speak to that fear. You know, acknowledge that fear. Don't just dismiss it or try to repress it or suppress it. Hold space for it, you know, and say, yes, truth is multidimensional. That could also, that is also truth if you're looking at life through the eyes of survival. But when you begin to look at life through the eyes of the soul, there is also this huge abundant landscape of the time, of the event of time, that is readily available for you. But it requires you to move past this illusion of there being a blockage of some kind, right? Or where life force is kind of blocked from being able to fully express itself through you because of any inhibitions or any limitations in which we set upon ourselves. It's not about the limits, it's about actually being able to discover our limitless nature, right? Okay, let's go ahead and see what else comes through as well. Sure, let's get lights here. Sick. High Priestess, right? So this is a vision that you have. This is definitely going to require you to do something that could be unexpected, right? Maybe like you would not have expected yourself to do this once upon a time or others, and there it will feel chaotic to the human, but there is a secret order within what appears to be chaotic, and there is a cosmos within the what appears to be disorderly. With High Priestess, again, this is a vision. You can see how she has her eyes wide shut, right? Because she closes her two eyes to look at this reality, and she opens up her sight of vision to be able to look at life through the eyes of the soul. And because of that, she has this foresight in regards to her destiny. She knows everything that she has to do in order to be able to unlock a new timeline of events for herself. And with the Page of Chalices, there's almost confirmation that you're going to be seeing in very physical ways that is going to help. I'm hearing usher that harsh internal critic out of the door, and also usher and quiet that fearful voice. And that's something that's coming through. It's almost going to quiet it or dim it out or tune it out, because this is again where the internal voice and external validation that you're going to be receiving through these synchronistic events that is so magically or divinely orchestrated that I'm hearing you have no other option but to accept this as a part of your reality. It's almost like there's synchronicities that are not going to be able to be written off. There's divinely orchestrated events that you're going to be seeing happening in your reality, and you're going to be witnessing to the point where you can no longer even dismiss this internal voice within. That's what's coming through, which is super interesting. Let's try and see what those synchronistic events will be. Let's take a look at a Shaman's Dream Oracle message. Okay, this came out in our last reading with the Netters, which is super interesting. So yeah, this talks about the interconnected web of jewels, right? It talks about the web of, I think it's Indra. And it talks about Netcaster is about you opening up to new experiences and knowing that you are at a point right now where you can gracefully exit from an old way of doing things before there is no more time to action the inaction. This is about you seeking guidance on the obvious path that eludes you now, the obvious path that you're on, and seeking that oracle within. There is like the unfoldment of a path, and it's almost like you're living in a frame vibrationally where you're feeling the feeling of your future in the now before it arrives. You're gaining some kind of vision in regards to your future in the now before it arrives, and you're sitting in that frame vibrationally, okay? And it's allowing you to, I'm hearing, begin to get acquainted via the mind, right? A good traveler is the one that knows how to travel with the mind, with this new world, with this new way of being, with this vision, and really bask in it as if it were already, for it has already came to be. You're now witnessing the becoming of it. So it's almost like you get to become acquainted and prepare for these new realities, these new realms, these new ways of beings, this new way of being in the now, okay, before it arrives. So it almost feels like there's a preparation, okay, that's happening. You know, I'm seeing somebody begin to, you know, when, for example, it's like a Oscar speech of some kind, and somebody's in the mirror and they're like practicing their Oscar speech or their award, you know, and it's almost like, you know, what would you say in that moment? It's almost like you're practicing for a moment. Maybe it's like an introduction of some kind. Maybe it's something that you're going to be doing, but I'm seeing you guys rehearse something, and that rehearsing act is actually forming new, not just internal networks when it comes to your neurological pathways, but you're also reinforcing this network externally, because the internal networks begin to become projected in this holographic, you know, matrix, right, which talks about that invisible web, right, this invisible net in the external, and it's allowing things behind the veil to begin to formulate. I'm also hearing like assemble for you, okay, which is super interesting. You begin to strengthen, not just again like your and form these new synapses within the brain, but you also begin to strengthen these external synapses or these external realities. It's like the thought form becomes more condensed, it becomes more like conducive because you're charging it. It's almost like you're charging energy into these new realities. You know what it is? It's like your intention behind something and rehearsing something is kinetic energy, and that moves forward through that reinforcement. It's almost like you're charging up some kind of new reality. That's what I'm seeing. And the path is becoming more solid. It's like you're solidifying some type of destiny for yourself, like some kind of destined outcome that awaits you in alignment with a continuum. But it's a path that you're building. It's like a reality that you're constructing for yourself. That's what I'm seeing. Again, where there's unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings that you're feeling in the now, sights that you're seeing in the now that are like, again, unbelievable. Which is super interesting. It's like you're getting attuned to some type of new world or new reality. Which is super, wow. That's what I'm seeing. It's like you're rehearsing for something. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a rehearsement that's going on with you. And again, this is a path, the obvious path you're on. It's like an obvious path that you're on. It's something that you vision. It's something that you daydream about. It's something. But you doing that. Again, there's a calling, right? We have the siren. So this is like a calling of the soul. It reminds me of this movie. Again, we have the never-ending story. So it's like you're telling yourself a new story during this time. You're telling yourself a new story. There's no place like home, which talks about how, again, familiarity is not always, you know, the best option for yourself. It tells you to no longer choose familiarity for the simple fact that it once brought you comfort. Because again, now your discomfort is going to surpass the comfort that you once had. And it talks about being in an authentic expression with what feels authentic for you at this stage in your journey, with the version of yourself that you are now, the octave in which you're now operating the world within. So yeah, it's a super interesting energy. It tells you it's time to tell yourself a new story. And it reminds me of, a lot of this is to do with your soul's initial intentions before incarnating into this physical vessel that you're coming back into alignment with. Because Spirit showed me this movie and I haven't been able to find the name of it since, but I'm going to try and find it. But there was like a Thoth character in it. Anyway, it was souls who wanted to incarnate on Earth, and they had this vision, and there was like this green screen and these 4 walls that they were within, and they were recreating this simulation. So one of the women wanted to have this experience of just riding a bike, right? That's all she wanted to experience when it comes to life on Earth. She wanted to be able to experience this one particular scene before as she prepared for this incarnation. So she was seated within these 4 walls in this green screen, and there was like an illusion of, you know, again, this holographic projection where she was seeing herself in the street, right, riding down this road, and she had these headphones on of the children laughing, the ice cream van, you know, singing its tune, the birds chirping. She's feeling the wind, right? They had like these fans that were blowing, and she was like living in this frame vibrationally. It was almost as if she was there, right? There was an illusion that she was there. So eventually, once she really became immersed in this experience, she began to dissolve, and she had incarnated as a baby for life on Earth that was then being overseen by all of these other beings to kind of lead her back up to that moment that she always wanted to experience before incarnating into this vessel. And it's like you're coming back into alignment with that. That's like a different, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's a scene that they're showing me. That's what it is. So it's a super interesting energy. And there's so many other forces that were kind of watching, you know, the infinite souls that had been, you know, incarnating into Earth and kind of guiding them back to this moment. There were so many different divinely orchestrated, you know, paths. Yeah, which is super beautiful. Yeah, we have hostilities here reversed as well. So this is a super interesting energy. It's almost as if hostilities reverse is where life is too short to spend another day at war with yourself. It's almost like you're holding yourself back. It's like, again, for example, this woman would have a fear of getting on the bike. Bikes on the metaphysical realm represent handling a number of responsibilities. Maybe there's new things. It's like a 2 of Pentacles moment in your life where it's almost like you're kind of juggling between continuums. You're still holding on to responsibilities from an old paradigm, but you're also wanting to take on new things, but you're worried about how this is actually going to happen. Maybe some of you it's a side hustle that you want to turn into a job, and maybe it's something new that you want to do, right, that you want to implement into your experience. But there is almost like this juggling act that's happening, and it's like you're having to decide what it is that you want to hold on to and what it is that you want to release during this time. And some of you, there's a need to release resistance for change, because it's not the change that hurts you, it will be the change that sets you free. And it's you actually being able to face your fear of the unknown and how you're actually going to navigate the complexities of life that allows you to set yourself free and literally enter into this whole new world. That's this interesting energy that's going on here with hostilities. It's almost like, again, life is too short to spend another day at war with yourself. Maybe the challenge that that woman wanted to take on was that she would have this huge fear of bikes. Maybe she would get hit by a bike when she was a, you know, young child, and that would kind of have this big fear that she had to get over. But it was actually within that moment that she would free herself from the illusion of there ever being fear in the first place, for she was always safe and she was always stable and she was always secure. And the trauma of not allowing the soul to experience all that it's come here to be able to, you know, that intended to experience is traumatic. That's a result that you will create for yourself, you know. It's trauma that you will begin to create for yourself, where you can hold yourself back and you will have to account for that at the end of your life. They all go for soul review in that movie to see if they actually relived that scene that they had set for themselves. And you know, again, that's something that they had to account for. Them choosing fear over love, right? The illusion of there being fear, and how that blocked the soul off from actually being able to experience this one specific scene that they, actually desired, that they wished. And it's almost like, oh man, I really just existed to serve the illusion. The illusion got to me, instead of, oh, the illusion exists to serve me, right? To serve my desires. It's a complete different way of navigating the world. And that is what the new earth is, right? It's like gamma perception, where there's this elevated consciousness. Gamma perception is almost this higher frequency that you're operating and that you view the world through. It's when you begin to look at your life through the eyes of the soul, and you follow that thirst, you follow that quest, you follow that desire to live accordingly to the innate wishes within you, and realize that with the genie, you are the one that will begin to grant your every wish, and it's time to set yourself free from the lamp. And that's what it is. It kind of does remind me of a Saturn return energy with the 10,000 energy, because he spent 10,000 years in that lamp, and it's almost like, again, 10,000 days, I believe, is a Saturn return. So breaking free from those limitations, those restrictions. Saturn is the devil, right? So that's, again, fear, where we can limit ourselves or keep ourselves inside of a golden cage. Yeah, super beautiful energy. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the new world. We have message, so you guys could be receiving some kind of message. It could be in regards to a soul contract there, because you have, maybe this is something, again, that you were contracted to do. So this is something that you wanted to experience. We also have pathway and main female. So again, your intuition is going to lead the way when it comes to a new path that could be opening up for you, right? That's a non-physical aspect of yourself. You also have great fortune here at the base. Again, it's almost like you're opening up. This is about you guys becoming also receptive to the universe to assist you. Because again, they had so much assistance, is whether they want to be, come into a conscious co-creation with that or not. But that's the energy as well. Again, where you could also be robbing yourself from those opportunities with the there, right? Through parasitic belief systems. But yeah, it's a beautiful energy. It's almost like the higher self is coming through and wants to transform your path, and it's within you. We have mature male and change. So again, you could be maturing in the physical realm, realizing that you're not just the physical vessel. That's what true maturing is. So why would you allow the vessel to guide your true self? It's about coming into that congruency in regards to aligning your actions in the physical with the true self. Allow the true self and your soul to guide the physical. So yeah, that's true maturing, and that will lead to a complete change. That could lead to also an initiation of a new journey. We have official passing here at the base, so that could lead to you becoming very established in certain areas of life as well. I'm hearing as you take those risks. We also have community. So again, I feel like this is a community in the spirit realm. This could be invisible, but you are definitely supported, right? You are definitely supported in ways that you may not be able to see there. We also have child. So again, through taking risks. Some of you, this could be self-employment with 5th house. Maybe it's a creative hobby, project of some kind. But yeah, taking risks leads to great outcomes for yourself, right? With great fortune there at the base. Again, you taking a risk is where universe actually showers you with those blessings. We also have toil and labor that kind of came up side by side. So it's as hard as you want to make it. That's the energy that's coming through. It's as hard as you want to make it for yourself. We also have courtship and coffin. So yeah, this is the alchemical marriage that's coming through there as well. And with coffin, there's almost like an ending to an old way of being, an old way of doing things as you transform and come forward as this new version of yourself. The universe could be, again, wanting to play matchmaker there with Cupid in the background. It's almost like you're going to be falling in love with life again as you begin to operate the world. You'll operate in this world a complete new way, right? And this, again, optimizing your navigation here for the full expression of all of yourself. All right, so yeah, let's see. I'm trying to be mindful of the time. Yeah, okay, we have broken ring here as well. So again, maybe there's certain things that you're no longer going to be holding on to or committing to. Maybe it's certain belief systems. I actually have to go though because I'm supposed to be going live with you guys right now, but I'm going to love and leave you right there. We also have seek out information that will help you there, that we split it on the birth of a conception, child, or enterprise. So again, releasing yourself from an old way of being, right, old commitments that are just no longer supportive is going to lead to the birth of some kind of new thing in your life. But I'm going to love and leave you guys right there. If you're not already subscribed to this channel and want to stick around for future reads, do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. Personal reading details also down below. Take a look at our Discord server, that's also going to be down below if you want to join that. And check out Auto Spirit's discount code if you're looking for some beautiful high quality AAA grade jewelry. I will talk to you very, very soon. Until next time, guys, bye.